comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Podcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I am MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, we got a decent amount of Funko Pops to talk about on this podcast. It's the remaining Funko Pops of August 2022. And then, of course, the segment of the update, which those brand new to the podcast will get to what the update is when we get to that. And yes, MD Shady is back on this week's podcast, as Robbie D had actually filled in for him on last week's podcast, which thank you to Robbie D for taking the time out of his day to fill in for MD Shady on last week's podcast. But without further ado, we might as well start getting through these August 2022 reveals, which range from August 22nd up until today as we are recording this, which is August 31st, which the first part we're talking about will be from August 22nd to August 26th, I believe. So kicking off on August 22nd, Funko had announced the next pop involved in the Sinister Six Pop Deluxe set for Marvel, in which it's of Kraven the Hunter, which, like all of the pops involved in this set, it is an Amazon exclusive, and this is expected to release as early as December 2022. On that same day, Funko had announced another pop VHS covers, and it's of Duchess from Aristocats, also an Amazon exclusive, and this is expected to release as early as November 2022. Once again, on that same day, Funko continues to announce reveals with a new set of Cowboy Bebop Funko Pops, which we have ourselves common pops of Ed and Ein, Julia, Spike Spiegel, Jet Black, and Faye Valentine, with exclusive pops of Spike Spiegel with Noodles, which will be going to Target, and a 4-pack of Ed and Ein, Jet Black, Faye Valentine, and Spike Spiegel, which will be exclusive to Walmart, and these are expected to release as early as November 2022. And last but not least, on that day, Funko had announced the next pop involved in the Class 1B My Hero Academia set, which we got ourselves Kanoko Komori, in which this is expected to release as early as October 2022. Then on August 24th, Funko had announced the next pop involved in the Disney Villains Assemble Pop Deluxe set, which is of a Moments, actually, of Yzma and Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove, and this is expected to release as early as November 2022. Then on November 25th, Funko had announced an Alliance Entertainment exclusive 2-pack of Hashirama and Tobirama from Naruto Shippuden, in which this is expected to release as early as November 2022. And on that same day, Funko had announced a new exclusive pop of a white attired Jabbawockeez that will be exclusive to the Walk Shop, in which that is available now at the Walk Shop in Las Vegas while supplies last. Then on August 26th, Funko had announced the next set of NFT Funko Pops, which is of DC Comics Series 2, which this set we have ourselves Parallax Hal Jordan, Justice Armor Batman, Earth 23 Superman, and Connor Hawk, which are all limited to 4,250 pieces. We got Azrael Batman limited to 999 pieces, which means it's the Grail. And then the royalty pop of the Freddy Funko as the Riddler, which will be limited to 6,000 pieces, in which this will be released this upcoming Tuesday, September 6th at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST on the Drop website. On that same day, Funko had announced a pop comic covers of Black Panther, which is expected to release as early as November 2022. And last but not least, we have another pop announced for the ongoing Disney Plus Marvel series of She-Hulk, which is of Abomination, which this is expected to release as early as November 2022. So kicking off with the Kraven the Hunter Funko Pop, and this is actually a pretty decent Funko Pop. people are pretty hyped for this, especially because there are some hardcore Marvel Comics fans that kind of already figured, since even when the first pop of Dr. Octopus was announced, that we were going to have the original Sinister Six set, including one of them being Kraven the Hunter. And there was a lot of comments on Instagram saying, "We told you so. It was going to be Kraven the Hunter." And this pop is pretty decent. We already have, I believe it was a Walgreens exclusive Kraven the Hunter, just a singular pop. But now, once again, it's in a more deluxe pop where it is kneeling down instead of standing up. It's got that ground base. And once again, I do want to mention, like I mentioned with last week, because Elektra was announced during the set of pops that we discussed about last week on the pod, that it's weird that a couple weeks prior we did have the Mysterio announcement, yet it's acting like it has not been revealed yet with a silhouette. So it's still saying it's the fifth of 7 pieces, claiming that Mysterio was not announced, yet realistically we do have 6 pops already announced, including Mysterio. The last one we kind of already figured out that it's going to be Spider-Man in the middle there. But I do like some of the comments that people were mentioning, jokingly saying, the last pop's got to be Pikachu. It's got to be Pikachu for the last one. So I like those kind of comments. Maybe that should be something Funko should do next year for April Fool's Day, is when it comes to these deluxe pops. They should put a pop that is not even involved with that licensor. Then we got ourselves the Aristocats pop VHS covers, and this is pretty decent. I mean, you got the pop of Duchess, which, I mean, it would have been cool if this pop was flocked for VHS covers, but I think they already did a flocked pop of Duchess, if I'm not mistaken, so I think that's why they didn't do flocked. It's Amazon exclusive, which is understandable because I believe every Walt Disney pop VHS covers has been a Amazon exclusive, besides, I believe, number 1, which is the Beauty and the Beast, and that was a TargetCon exclusive earlier in the year. Then we got ourselves a new set of Cowboy Bebop pops, which these are pretty sweet. I like the Ed 9 kind of like singular pop that looks like a rides, because you got Ein in the back of Ed's backpack, I assume, and then they're driving that kind of scooter thing. So like, hopefully that's actually a normal 4-inch pop and not like one of those 4-inch pops that end up being a ride and then you get charged the price of a ride, like the Deadpool one that Funko had released a couple of years ago for the Marvel lineup. And overall, these are pretty sweet. And I actually just remembered that during our Fan Expo pop hunt that released during the week this week, that we did see the OG Jet Black pop that was in that one case, and that was going for a pretty penny. So, I mean, maybe that's why it was so high up, because now there is 2 versions of this pop. And I do like the pop of Spike Spiegel with the noodles. I think that's pretty decent. Not surprised about another noodles pop for the anime lineup, because we've seen it with Dragon Ball Z. We've seen it with, I believe, My Hero Academia, and I think one other anime I can't think of off the top of my head, but there's been a lot of noodles pops already. So I'm not surprised that Cowboy Bebop is going under the realm of essentially a noodles pop there. And then we got a pointless 4-pack as terms to just slapping commons that are just announced here and then putting them into a 4-pack. I think it's just pointless. You could have made, let's say, a new character as a Walmart exclusive instead. Then we got ourselves the My Hero Academia Class 1B exclusive, and this is pretty decent. I'm not exactly sure what this character is, because even though I have seen My Hero Academia, I actually just started recently watching season 5 recently, but only a couple of episodes so far. And I don't remember this character at all, but obviously judging by the outfit, it has to do with something with mushrooms because of like the mushroom cap hat and then kind of like the colors going on and how you kind of see in like, you know, not just animes, but even in video games, I believe you see in Mario where like mushrooms are like red with like the white dots involved. So I think that's pretty sweet. I mean, it's in a little bit of a simplistic pose, but it's pretty decent, I guess. Then we got ourselves the next pop involved in the Disney Villains Assemble deluxe set, or it's more of moments, because you got the Scar with hyenas, which is the moment, and then you kind of got the moments going on with the Hades with pain and panic. So this is pretty decent, and I like how you're getting more bang for your buck, but it is going to be a moments and not a deluxe, so it is going to be a little bit more as terms to how much it's going to cost. But I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to get this, especially MD Shady, who might just get this to help complete his Emperor's New Groove set instead of getting this entire set, but who knows. Then we got ourselves the Naruto Shippuden 2-pack, and this is okay. I mean, I recognize these characters because I believe these were the first 2 characters involved in that new Pop Deluxe set involved with Naruto Shippuden so far. So I guess it's cool that you're kind of getting those 2 characters slapped into a 2-pack. Then we got ourselves the Jabberwockies pop with the white attire, and this is pretty decent. I actually remember, I believe, watching like a America's I can't remember the TV show that they basically got their fame from, but I remember, I believe they wore this outfit in the one episode of that TV show, and I think it's pretty cool. It's very detailed as terms to kind of like the white attire with the camouflage involved. I think that's pretty sweet. Then we have ourselves the NFT pops, DC Comics Series 2, which I'm a little surprised actually that for the next NFT set, that the first series to actually have a series 2 is DC Comics. I would have thought that maybe they would have done it with the Ninja Turtles, considering that was the set that actually kicked off the NFT set. And they could have done that actually at the beginning of August, since that actually marked the 1 year anniversary of when Funko NFTs began. And I mean, this is a pretty decent looking set, or not decent, but I guess okay, because you got a cool looking Green Lantern. There's a couple of Batmans that are okay. I don't think they're really the best Batmans in my opinion. And then you have the Earth 23 Superman that I think is pretty cool. And then Connor Hawk that I think people were really discussing about when it came to the hype involved with this set. And the Freddy Funko is, I don't want to say it's bad, but I don't want to say it's great either, because I don't think it's up there with, like, let's say the Nickelodeon Freddy Funko, or I think it's a little bit better than maybe, oh, I can't remember a Freddy Funko pop for the NFTs that was like not the greatest, but I guess this is okay. Maybe it's like mid-level tier as terms to a Freddy Funko pop. But overall, this is actually the highest piece count as terms to the packs, I believe, because it is said on the drop website that there's going to be 50,000 standard packs and 50,000 premium packs, making a total of 100,000 packs when this drops, which I guess is understandable judging by the piece counts of already the legendary pops being 4,250 pieces, the Grail still being 999 pieces, and then the Freddy Funko's Riddler being 6,000 pieces, which I think is the highest piece count as terms to a Freddy Funko pop at this point. So there's going to be a lot of packs sold. Hopefully it's a little bit easier, because I think that this may actually be the first pack involved for NFTs that we're actually going to be investing in here on the channel, or at least I'm going to be investing in. And if we do obtain some cards, that will actually be a video coming out on the channel this upcoming Wednesday, since the packs do drop on Tuesday. Then we got ourselves the Black Panther pop comic covers, and this is actually pretty decent. I like the cover overall. I think my only gripe as terms to this pop is the fact that I felt like they could have done like a blue, like 2 shades of blue, like it shows with the Black Panther on the cover there for the pop, instead of just a simple, just black shading there. Although I kind of like the way that it looks, especially with the eyes just popping out the way it does. Once again, I don't think it's one of the best pop comic covers, but I don't think it's one of the worst either. So I think it's pretty decent, but there is some gripes towards this, into which I felt like it could have been a little bit better. And then we got ourselves Abomination from the ongoing Disney Plus Marvel series, She-Hulk, and a lot of people are not liking this pop. And to be honest, when I seen this, I actually didn't think this was like a Funko announcement. I thought this was like a concept art made by someone, but this is actually a glam shot made by Funko. I'm not really liking it. A lot of people are not really liking it. The head sculpt kind of looks like an angry Leviathan from Fortnite, mixed with like maybe a different character I can't think of. It doesn't really look like Abomination, especially if you've seen Abomination in the She-Hulk series. I don't want to give too much away, because I think MD Shady has not seen She-Hulk yet, but I just don't think this really looks like Abomination in my opinion, especially with the scene that's involved with, I guess, this exact look of Abomination.
Okay, it's good to be back, and here we are talking about an awesome pop with Craven the Hunter. I was kind of really surprised about this when it was announced. I didn't know if he was going to be in the set, and I'm so happy that he is. He is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and he kind of is like a, I don't know, not a villain at the same time as well, because he does befriend Spider-Man in some of the different Spider-Man universes, I guess you could say. So yeah, this pop is awesome. I love the pose. This does look better, in my opinion, than the one other Craven the Hunter pop that I believe there is. I don't think there's any more than just the one. So yeah, this is super awesome. I can't wait to see what the set looks like complete. And I'm going to have to start trying to find some of these pops to piece together this because I need to have this. This is just so sweet. And then we have the Duchess pop for the Aristocrats pop VHS covers. And this is cool. I think that this one looks good. The packaging, I think, looks great the way that they did it so that it matches the cover itself. The pop is good. We've seen pops of Duchess before, and I do believe that there was a flocked one like DK had talked about. So overall, this is a good VHS cover. Then we have the new wave of Cowboy Bebop pops, and this wave is looking pretty sweet. At the fan expo that we went to, I actually seen a few different cosplayers of Spike Spiegel, and it's really making me want to watch the show. I've only heard good things about Cowboy Bebop, so I think I'm probably going to start it pretty soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if I start collecting some of the pops, especially some of the ones in this wave, because they are looking pretty sweet. There's a lot of detail, and these are some great anime pops, because normally I'm not huge on a lot of anime pops, but these ones, I don't know, there's just something about them. And then we have the next pop for the Class 1B exclusives for My Hero Academia. And I don't know anything about this character. Obviously, DK has watched more of My Hero than I have, but I do think that this pop looks pretty sweet. I like how the mushroom cap hat looks that way and the dress matches. So, yeah, this is an awesome pop, and I definitely want to know more about this character. Overall, the My Hero Academia pops have been pumping out some really great stuff. I mean, they look good. If you're a My Hero Academia fan and collector, you should be lucky because there's a lot of sweet pops. And then we have the next pop for the Disney Villains collection. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but we have the Hot Topic exclusive Krunk and Yzma. And this was the one I was waiting for. You could definitely tell by the silhouette that this was definitely going to be Krunk and Yzma. And it's my favorite one in the set so far. I will definitely be getting this. I don't know if I'll get the full set, but I might because looking at what we have so far, it looks so good, obviously, with the Hades and Scar. This is an amazing set. So I might end up getting all of these, but for sure, the Krunk and Yzma. And I like how what we're seeing so far is that there's a lot of different colors going on with this set. Obviously, with the Scar, you have that darker kind of green tone. And then with the Hades, you get the blue. And now here with the Krunk and Yzma, you have the purple with the kind of gold. So I'm excited to see the other pops and see if they continue this trend of having it a bunch of different colors. Obviously, one of the silhouettes that we can pretty much tell what it's going to be is Maleficent, and that would probably be a black and green, but hopefully it's more of a green that pops rather than with the Scar set. So I don't know. Depending on how the rest of these pops end up looking, I might end up getting all of them. And then we have the 2-pack for Naruto Shippuden, and these pops look okay. I mean, usually Naruto pops always look pretty good, but I don't know. These ones are decent. Definitely two characters that I know nothing about. There are some characters that I do know about, but I don't know these two. But overall, it's a sweet 2-pack, and I think that a lot of people are going to go nuts for them because that's kind of just how Naruto fans are. And then we have the next Jabberwockies pop with the white attire. And I kind of like this one the best out of all three with the common and the chase. And now this exclusive. I think that this is sweet. I like how you have like the camo look with the white. And I don't know, the Jabberwockies pops are pretty cool. So I think if I were to get one, it would probably end up being this one. And then we have the newest Funko NFT drop with DC. And some of these pops are decent. I like this drop because it's a lot of stuff that is just variants in a sense and not just some brand new characters that might destroy people that they are not able to obtain. Maybe besides the Connor Hawk, which is actually a pretty sweet looking pop. The Parallax Hal Jordan is actually a cool pop as well. I like how that one looks. The two Batmans in the set, I'm not huge on those, but there are so many Batman pops already that maybe that's the reasoning for it. And then I guess the last pop I'll talk about is the Freddy Funko as the Riddler. This is pretty cool. Like DK said, this isn't one of the best Freddy Funkos for the NFTs. It's not one of the worst. It is simplistic, which I generally like with pops when they're just simplistic. There's not a ton going on with it. And it's surprising to me that there's not a version of this Riddler already done in Freddy Funko form because it seems like something that would have happened like years ago, like back in like 2012 or 2013. But now we have it in the NFTs, and I don't know, I'm liking it. Next up, we have the Black Panther comic covers, and this is okay. Usually, like, we've seen a lot of really great Black Panther pops recently, and I don't know, this one doesn't rank up super high on my list of favorites, that's for sure. The cover is awesome. I really like how the cover looks, but the pop itself, yeah, I don't know. DK kind of discussed how the base, it's not looking like what's going on the cover, as well as the pop isn't really posed in the shape of the cover at all either. And I would have liked to see this maybe be like one of those more like blacklight looking pops so that it kind of matches the cover a little bit more than just being a pretty much all black pop besides the white in the eyes and the different shades with the feet and the hands. But I don't think it's terrible, but I don't know. I think it could have been better, and especially for being Black Panther, which has so much hype in the last couple of years, that they could have done something that looked a lot better than this. And then we have Abomination from She-Hulk, and I do need to start She-Hulk. I have not watched it yet, but I don't know if I hate this pop. I do think it probably could have been better, and it does sort of look like a concept, but I don't know. I feel like Abomination is kind of a tough character to get a really good looking pop. It's just kind of one of those characters that's not going to translate well. But I don't know. Yeah, it probably could have been better, but I do think this is a cool looking pop.
All right, so we're going to look at the next set of this last set of August 2022 Funko Pop announcements, which range from August 29th to today as we were recording this podcast, which is August 31st. Which kicking off on August 29th, Funko had announced 3 Target exclusive pops, which are all in the Marvel lineup on a technicality. So the first one we have here is a Shuri pop comic covers from Black Panther, followed by an Oscorp suit Spider-Man involved with the Beyond Amazing set. And last but not least, for the At Icons lineup is Bullseye in a Spider-Man shirt, in which unknown of when these will be releasing yet, as there was no ETA for the pre-order on the website. On that same day, Entertainment Earth had announced their own exclusive pop of Killer Bee from Naruto Shippuden, which has a 1 in 6 chase of him holding a notebook, in which that's expected to release as early as September 2022. On that same day, AAA Anime had announced their own exclusive of a glow-in-the-dark young Kakashi from Naruto Shippuden, in which it also has a 1 in 6 glow-in-the-dark chase, in which that's expected to release as early as October 2022. And on that same day, Walmart had announced their exclusive 4-pack of a gingerbread Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor for the Marvel lineup, in which that's expected to release as early as November 2022. Then on August 30th, Funko had announced a set of pops for the TV series The Sopranos, which we got ourselves pops of Christopher Moltisanti, Tony Soprano, Carmela Soprano, Silvio Dante, then 2 exclusive pops of Polly in tracksuit, which will be going to the Funko shop, and Tony Soprano with Duck, which will be exclusive to Amazon, in which these are expected to release as early as November 2022. Then, last but not least, today, as we're recording this podcast, August 31st, Funko had announced a set of pops for Hello Kitty in Friends, which we got ourselves pops of Hello Kitty, Cinnamon Roll, Pokecho, My Melody, and Kuromi, which these are expected to release as early as November 2022. On that same day, Funko had announced 2 exclusive 4-packs for 2 different animes. The first one being a glow-in-the-dark Zenitsu, Tenjiro, Nezuko, and Inosuke Hashibira from Demon Slayer, which will be exclusive to Crunchyroll. And then we have an exclusive 4-pack for Jujutsu Kaisen, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce the names, but one of them is a glow-in-the-dark pop involved, which that's going to be exclusive to GameStop. And the last pop involved here, we have ourselves a pop announced by Hobby Stock, which is of Jose Mari Chan for the Pop Rocks lineup, and that is available now on the Hobby Stock website. So I guess kicking off, we have ourselves the Shuri Pop comic covers, and this is a little bit unexpected. I didn't think Shuri was going to get her own pop comic covers, which I think it's pretty sweet, especially because she's a pretty cool character in Black Panther. And I mean, I guess she's probably going to be a huge focus in the upcoming Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie, so I think they're really going to be pumping out a lot of Shuri pops and anything Funko related involving her, since, you know, Black Panther will not be in the new movie coming out. I mean, it's very simplistic, but that's all you needed to be because it exactly matches the cover where she has her arms crossed in an X form like that. I don't know how well this is going to sell, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the pre-orders actually sold out for this pop. Next up, we have ourselves the Oscorp suit Spider-Man, which this is pretty decent. I actually like the way this pop looks, especially because within the eyes, you can actually see what the eyes look like under the mask, which is pretty cool because it gives off that effect of Green Goblin. And it makes sense for more Spider-Man pops, especially for this month, because this month actually marked the 60th anniversary of when Spider-Man first released in comic form. And I think this is really awesome, especially the logo involved for the middle there with the spider. And I think overall, this is a pretty cool pop. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first Beyond Amazing pop that is not an Amazon exclusive. It's going to Target. So this is pretty interesting to see. And then we got ourselves Bullseye with the Spider-Man shirt. And honestly, this is actually pretty badass. We've had a couple of Bullseye pops that were just like the regular Bullseye. It was either flocked, it was either just a normal pop. And then we had something else besides, obviously, the one that was released. It was either this year or last year with the Target Con t-shirt as a pop. So it's really cool to actually see Bullseye with the Spider-Man shirt, because I think that's a little bit of a refreshment as terms to the Bullseye pops. I kind of wish also it would have been cool if maybe they would have added a Spider-Man mask with Bullseye, but like not make it entirely like a Spider-Man mask. But overall, I hope they kind of don't overdo it with a lot of Marvel pops. Like, I don't want to see Bullseye with like a Hulk shirt down the line or a Wolverine shirt and kind of overdo it that way. I think just having maybe the Spider-Man shirt is good enough for me for right now, at least. Then we got ourselves the Killer Bee pop from Naruto Shippuden. And when I first looked at this pop, it's exactly what people mentioned in the comments. This looks like an anime version of Hulk Hogan. So it's pretty funny that a lot of people, including myself, thought that this was Hulk Hogan in anime form. Overall, the posing is pretty decent, and the chase is pretty cool. I mean, it's holding an object, so it's a slight different mold, but at least it's not like what I'm going to mention about the young Kakashi pop, which I guess I'll go into that right now to prove my point, and how it's exactly like what we talked about with the glow-in-the-dark Thor earlier in the month, and how it is simply a glow-in-the-dark pop for both the common and the chase, except you do the simplest like molding change, and there's not really anything different. At least with the Killer Bee pop, it seems like it's a brand new character that Funko has not made before for the Naruto Shippuden lineup, and then you have a little bit of a mold. But we've seen a bunch of Kakashis before that I feel like this isn't the greatest Kakashi pop, and that they could have skipped out on this, in my opinion. But the Killer Bee is pretty sweet. I like the way this pop looks. And speaking of pointless pops, we got ourselves gingerbread pops of already existing commons. They're slapped into a 4-pack, and I believe one or all of them are glow-in-the-dark pops. And it's like, why is this even made? I'm sick of Funko kind of doing this, and I'm sick of kind of talking about these pops. Since we already discussed about the singular pops last year, I don't have anything good to say about this. I mean, the gingerbread concept is okay. It started off with the Disney, and then you have the Marvel ones now. They could have done something different, even if it was something they haven't done as terms of the gingerbread lineup, and they haven't done a character before. That would have been better instead of the 4-pack. Then we got ourselves the Soprano pops, which this is really awesome. I really enjoy the fact that there are Soprano pops now. I feel like that would have been something they made a long time ago, but it's cool that we have Soprano pops now. These pops are sweet. I like the Tony Soprano pops, especially the common and the Amazon exclusive with the duck. That's pretty sweet. I haven't really seen any bad hype because it's a lineup that people have been waiting for. So it's cool that Funko is diving into a very popular TV series like The Sopranos in pop form. Then we got the Hello Kitty pops, which I don't really care too much about because we see a lot of Hello Kitty pops. I know the Kuromi pop we actually discussed about like a normal version that's a Hot Topic exclusive about, I want to say a month ago at this point. And these all look like they're like in slumber party pajama outfits, which I guess that's okay. I might as well talk about these anime 4-packs at the same time. Not interesting because all it is just exclusive, or they're just common slapped into a 4-pack where one or all are glow-in-the-dark pops. But I will give props to the Zenitsu pop because I feel like the orange and the yellow on Zenitsu are going to look great as terms to putting a black light to the pop. And then we got ourselves Jose Marie Chan, which I've never heard before, but I mean, he looks pretty decent. It's a little bit simplistic, but I mean, I wish I knew more about this, I guess, musician to where I'm able to talk about him more. But overall, I mean, at least it's better than those 4 packs, I could say.
So first up, we have the Target exclusive Shuri Pop comic covers, and this is gorgeous. I mean, this is really nice. This is a lot better than the Black Panther one, in my opinion. The pop matches the cover perfectly, even down to the detail of the braids kind of flowing in the wind, which is awesome. There's nothing bad about this. This is easily one of the best comic covers that we've seen as terms to just the stylization and how great the pop looks in resemblance to the art on the cover itself. Then we have the next Beyond Amazing Spider-Man pop, and this one's pretty cool. I like how you can kind of see his eyebrows like through the eyes in the pop itself. I think that's a cool detail, and I'd like to see this one in person to see how well that actually comes out through the yellow on the eyes. And then we have the Bullseye wearing the Spider-Man shirt, and this is pretty sweet. I do agree with DK that I don't want to see a bunch of these made. I do think that just having the Spider-Man one is good enough, and we don't need a bunch of different variants. But overall, this does look sweet, and I might end up buying this pop. And then we have Killer Bee with the chase. And yeah, it's funny. I did think Hulk Hogan too when I first saw it, which is funny. But at the same time, this is a pretty great looking pop. I mean, there's a lot of detail with it. There's a chase version that is okay, where he has a different object and also a bit of a different pose because of the objects that he's holding. So yeah, overall, this is a decent pop, but not something that I'm super interested in. And then we have Kakashi, and this is an awesome looking pop. I like how this looks. And I have to disagree with DK and say that the chase version for this is different enough. You have the glow in the dark, which I mean, it was already glow in the dark to begin with, but you have the pose change as well as a little bit of a paint change with the eyes. So I don't know. I think that this gets a pass. And I do like both versions with the common and the chase. Then we have the 4 pack of the Marvel gingerbread cookies, and this is a little ridiculous. We don't need a 4 pack of these. I like these pops. Don't get me wrong. I do like the concept of the gingerbread cookie pops, but we don't need a 4 pack. I mean, if you wanted to get these pops, you probably would have bought them separately, and they definitely don't need to be glow in the dark because what gingerbread cookie have you ever eaten that was glow in the dark? And if you have, you might want to head over to the doctors and give them a little chat. Yeah, I don't know. This just doesn't need to be done. It's another one of those 4 packs where it's like, oh, why is this happening? And it's not like they just threw 4 commons into the 4 pack because they're making at least one or multiple of these pops glow in the dark. So there was a little bit of effort put into this for no reason. I don't see this selling well. And then we have the first wave of Sopranos pops. And yeah, why hasn't this been done yet? Sopranos seems like one of those shows where the pops should have been made in 2012 or anywhere before 2015 and just have a ridiculous value on the secondary market. But we're finally getting Sopranos pops, and these look awesome. They all look just like the characters, and that's great when you have a set of human pops where a lot of the times you could see these pops out of the box and you would know exactly who it is or what it's from at least. So yeah, these are great. I do like the Tony Sopranos. Those look cool, but overall, these all just look exactly like the characters that they're based on. And then we have the new Hello Kitty and Friends set, and this is okay. It's not terrible. I don't know how these are going to sell. I feel like these might be some pops that we see at our local Hot Topic that might sit around for a bit until they go into the clearance bin. But who knows? Maybe these will sell decently because they're not terrible. And then we have the 4 pack of Demon Slayer pops. And again, we're talking about 4 packs. And I guess I'll just talk about the Jujutsu Kaisen pops at the same time, where we have these 4 packs where you got a glow in the dark pop. I mean, that's fine. The glow in the dark pops actually kind of look sweet. But why are we getting 4 packs of pops that we already have singulars of? I think Funko just needs to realize that they should just make 4 packs or multi packs, I guess, of characters that haven't been done or are something new that makes sense to be in a 4 pack or a multi pack. For example, with the Pearl Jam set, that was a perfect 5 pack. you don't have a bunch of commons floating around in singulars and then the 5-pack. So it's awesome to see it in a 5-pack. Most people are going to want to get the Pearl Jam pops in a 5-pack. So I think that they should just stick to multi-packs when it comes to more than 2 pops, to be just characters that make sense to be together and aren't pops that are already just commons and singulars. And then lastly, we have Jose Marichan, and this is okay. I don't know how I feel about this pop, but I think that he's a Filipino singer, if I'm not mistaken. So it's cool that there's more pops that are getting out there for different nationalities rather than just like mainstream kind of rocks pops that we've been seeing recently. So I don't think this is terrible. I think that the people that are going to want it are really going to want it, but I do feel like there's going to be a lot of people that are going to pass this pop up.
Are you looking for great pop protectors? Then look no further than popbox.ca. They have a variety of 4-inch and 6-inch protectors in different quantities. Do you want to get 10 protectors, 20? You can get even up to 250 pop protectors over on popbox.ca. And also use our promo code of Funko Popcast for 10% off of your entire purchase of pop protectors. The code is going on until supplies last. So go get your pop protector needs now over on popbox.ca using our code of Funko Podcast to get 10% off.
And let me tell you guys, we're not just screwing around here. These are some great pop protectors. We own a multitude of these protectors. They are some of the best I've seen. Stop buying from EB Games. I'm not boycotting EB Games by any means, but their pop protectors are not as good. So again, use code of Funko Podcast for 10% off.
All right, so now we're going to move on to our segment, The Update, which those brand new to the podcast, The Update is a segment where essentially now that we are over and done with August of 2022, and now these were pops we didn't get to talk about for our top 10 list last week, which there's a little bit of a change up because technically, because MD Shady was not on last week's podcast, he has not done his top 10 list officially. So realistically, for the update, it's my update, but it's actually MD's official top 10 list. I might as well do my update first for my top 10 list, and then we'll get into MD Shady's official top 10 list for here, and he will just go down the list of 10 to 1 of what his top 10 list. So I will kick off with my updated list, which starting off at number 10 is the Spirit Halloween exclusive Chuckles from Trick or Treat, which was originally number 9 last week. Coming in at number 9 is the D23 shared with Box Lunch exclusive Lucifer, which was originally number 8 last week. And then now coming in at number 8 and is the only pop updated on my list is the Hot Topic exclusive Yzma and Kronk moments for the Disney Villains Assemble set. I think this is great. People are super excited about this, especially with a new Kronk pop, which is surprising how many people are actually saying pump up more Kronk pops, because usually when people see multiple pops of a certain character at a time, they complain that there's so many of that character and not new characters. But when it's a series like Emperor's New Groove, I feel like people don't care because, like I mentioned, actually, I think it was last week's podcast, that I feel like Kronk is one of those characters that like are like the highlight of Emperor's New Groove. So like people don't care if there's more Kronk pops or not, which that means also to find out what essentially number 7 all the way to number 1 was on my list. Definitely go check out last week's podcast when Robbie D and I did the top 10 list and find out what essentially the top 7 of this list was to see what my top 10 list is. But without further ado, we will now move over to MD Shady, and he will give off his official top 10 list since we are officially done with August.
Okay, so starting off at number 10, I have the common Tony Soprano. This is a cool looking pop. It looks just like Tony Soprano. And I think that it's been a long time in the works where a lot of people have definitely wanted some Soprano pops. And now we finally have them. So I feel like this set needed a little bit of recognition, and putting Tony at number 10 makes sense to me. What a great pop. Moving on to number 9, I have the Target exclusive Bullseye with the Spider-Man t-shirt on. I'm a huge At Icons fan. I don't know if this pop is going to fall into the Marvel category or the At Icons. That's kind of a weird little situation that they have going on there. But nonetheless, it is a Bullseye, and it also has my favorite superhero of all time on the t-shirt. So this is a pop that I'm definitely going to have to get to add to my At Icons, I guess, is where it would go rather than into my Spider-Man collection. So yeah, I knew he had to be on the list. Moving on to number 8, I have the brand new Mike from Stranger Things. I feel like this pop has a lot of detail. Mike's attire in this scene in Stranger Things was definitely pretty flashy and pretty out there. And I think they nailed it with this pop when it comes down to the like floral, like Hawaiian shirt with the glasses and the hat that he was wearing, as well as the flowers that he's holding in his hands for 11. So, yeah, this is a really cool pop. Overall, the Stranger Things pops from the new wave were good for the most part. And I feel like Mike was one of those highlights. Coming in at number 7, I have an NFT pop, and that is of Zordon from Power Rangers. This is a really cool pop. It's a pop that it's a character, I guess, that is something that's so weird to be popified because it's kind of just a face on a machine. So it's so weird, but I think that they nailed it pretty well. I think that it does look a little bit awkward, and for that reason, it didn't go higher up on the list. But I still think they did a good job on it, and it's a pop that I'm definitely going to want. So I got to fork up that money on the secondary market once this does start going into people's hands. Coming in at number 6, I have the Green Ranger Shredder. This is an awesome looking pop. I'm loving the TMNT and Power Rangers mashups, and it's cool that you get the Green Ranger as well as Shredder mixed into one character, though I would have liked to see maybe a different Power Rangers villain with the Shredder so that it's two villains that are kind of colliding. Coming in at number 5, I have the Scented Lemon Head. I'm a sucker for ad icons. Lemon heads are good candy. I like them. The mascot is really cool as well. We have seen the soda can, but now we also have the pop, and it's scented, which is super awesome. So I'm happy about that, and I can't wait to get this pop. Now, coming in at number 4 on my list, I have the Blink 182 3-pack, which is so cool. It's awesome to see Tom in this 3-pack and kind of associating himself with Blink 182 again. And this is just a hilarious 3-pack. They're all naked. They all have their instruments, as well as the mics with the mic stands, which is something that you don't see too often with Funko, with the Pop Rocks category. So overall, this is a great 3-pack and something that I definitely need to add to my collection. Coming in at number 3, I have the newest pop for the Sinister 6 deluxe set, and that is of Kraven the Hunter. I was kind of surprised about this pop, and it is one of my more favorite villains from Spider-Man, so I was really happy to see this. It looks great. It looks better than the original Kraven, in my opinion, especially with that deluxe pose where you get this base as well. Really cool pop. I can't wait to see this whole set. Then coming in at number 2, I have the Hot Topic exclusive Kronk and Yzma, part of the new Villains Deluxe set. This is awesome. I was super pumped when I seen the silhouette when we got the first announcement because I knew it had to be Kronk and Yzma. We finally got it, and it looks so cool. I cannot wait to get this, as well as maybe some of the rest of the set. But this is definitely the highlight of this set for me because I'm such a big fan of the Emperor's New Groove. And then finally, coming in at number 1 for August of 2022 is Argyle in the Surfer Boy pizza van. This is so cool. I'm surprised that we're getting an Argyle pop, and we actually get 2 of them, but I'm surprised that we're getting them so soon. It feels like with Stranger Things, they let you wait and wait and wait, kind of like what we got with the Susie pop as well as Alexi. Those are pops that people really wanted, and they kept talking about it. Let's get these pops. Let's get these pops. So now Funko, I guess, just has to get Murray because that's another pop that people have been asking for, which we have not seen yet. But the Argyle in the Surfer Boy pizza van is so cool. What a great pop rides. And I think it's the first ever Stranger Things pop rides. There has been moments and obviously the singular pops as well as 10-inch pops and stuff like that, but we haven't got a rides, and it's a perfect one, a fan favorite character by far, and just a really great pop. So I knew it had to be at number 1 for August, and I'm gonna guess it's probably going to stay this way considering as of this recording it is the last day of August, and I don't see any other announcements coming in the future.
Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this week's edition of a Funko Popcast, don't forget to smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and let us know your favorite pops from August 2022. Press the subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Popcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this week's podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week on a Funko Popcast, where supposedly we might actually have New York Comic Con 2022 exclusive reveals. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Crunk, pull the lever. Peace in, peace out.